Good morning, Britain. Terror on the streets of Chicago as 6 people are killed and at least 24 injured in a shooting at a 4th of July parade. A man has been arrested.
Pressure piles on Boris Johnson as reports emerged this morning that he was aware of a formal complaint about Chris Pincher's inappropriate behaviour before appointing the MP as his Deputy Chief Whip.
Well, according to those reports, both the Prime Minister and the now Deputy Prime Minister Dominic Raab, who was Foreign Secretary at the time, were fully aware of complaints that had been made and a process that had been taken against Chris Pincher. Now, that really goes against what was said just yesterday evening by a spokesman here at Downing Street, that the Prime Minister didn't have that kind of knowledge. We'll be speaking to Dominic Raab on the programme after 8 o'clock this morning.
The world is a darker place without his warm smile. The words of the father of murdered 5-year-old Logan Mwangi, who suffered catastrophic injuries at the hands of his mother, stepfather, and a 13-year-old boy. Ben Mwangi joins us later to reveal how he's fighting for change.
And after a freak TikTok accident left Strictly dancer AJ Pitchard's girlfriend Abby with horrifying burns, dancing duo AJ and Curtis reveal why they're today raising a cup of tea for our National Health Service.
And the sun is shining here at Hampton Court Palace. We'll be exploring the gardens here this morning, and the outlook of the weather is drier, sunnier, warmer. I'll have all the details with us and more coming up on Good Morning Britain.
Tuesday, 5th of July, 2022. Live from Television Centre in London. This is Good Morning Britain with Susanna Reid and Ed Balls.
Good morning, it's just gone 6 o'clock. Welcome to the programme.
Well, we have an absolutely remarkable contradiction, don't we, this morning at the top of the government. We were told yesterday categorically on this programme by Will Quince, who was the junior minister who was sent out to do what's called the morning round in the absence of senior ministers who, the Telegraph reported, no longer wanted to take questions defending the Prime Minister and defending his choice of Mr Pincher. Pincher by name, Pincher by nature was the allegation that Boris Johnson had. That was a phrase that he had used. So Will Quince told us yesterday categorically this.
What I did ask is whether the Prime Minister was aware of specific allegations or complaints about the former Deputy Chief Whip. And I've had that categorical assurance that he wasn't. And let me go further. I don't believe, given the shocking nature of what I've read about over the past few days, that the Prime Minister or any employer for that nature, if they'd have known about this, would have appointed Chris Pincher as Deputy Chief Whip.
Well, you can understand why ministers don't want to go on the airwaves to explain it and justify it, because last night it emerged that Boris Johnson was made aware of a formal complaint about Chris Pincher's inappropriate behaviour. And not only was Boris Johnson aware of it, Dominic Raab was also aware of it, the Deputy Prime Minister. And who's our minister this morning? Well, good for Dominic Raab to come out and defend.
He's coming on our programme.
Yes.
Oh.
Good. He is. As senior minister, is stepping up to the plate, and we will put that to him at 8:30.
You can see from Will Quince's point of view, he was so clear yesterday with us. I've talked to Downing Street. This is what they have told me. If there were allegations which were known, that would be terrible.
That would be terrible.
He was so careful.
Yes.
You've got to wonder about... I don't understand the Downing Street strategy. I mean, it's a classic rule in politics. When you have something which is breaking news, a big problem, you first of all say, let us find out what the facts are. Let's then be clear. What you don't do is go out on Thursday and say the Prime Minister knew nothing about the allegations. By Sunday, well, he knew nothing about specific allegations. By Monday, well, it's about specific and detailed allegations, and by Tuesday, actually, he did know about it all along.
And appointed him anyway.
And appointed him anyway. And, of course, Dominic Raab was appointed Foreign Secretary by Boris Johnson in 2019 and agreed with Boris Johnson that Chris Pincher would be a Foreign Office minister as part of his team in Downing Street. So, of course, the interesting question, the important question, is did the Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister know about these allegations? But you just got to wonder, I mean, from a judgment point of view, what were they doing last Thursday? And what were they doing taking such a risk with these appointments? You don't say, you know, well, he might be a good guy. Look, of course, there's these problems about allegations about sexual misconduct, but on balance, I mean, what organisation makes decisions like that?
I think we know. Or at least we will ask at 8:30 when we speak to Dominic Raab. But first, our main news this morning, another shocking shooting in America, and police 24 other people injured